Listen up, life is going to knock you down. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You're going to face hardships, setbacks, disappointments. But here's the thing. You are not defined by what knocks you down. You're defined by how you rise. This world will test you, push you, and try to break you. But the key is knowing this. You have the power to rebuild yourself. Every time life tries to tear you apart, you can rise, you can rebuild, and you can come back stronger than ever. The stakes are high. Your future, your purpose, your happiness, they all depend on what you do right now, in this moment. So ask yourself, are you ready to rise? Are you ready to rebuild the strongest version of yourself, no matter what's behind you or how hard the road ahead may seem? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments section. Stick with me because in this video, we're diving into the mindset that will help you rise and rebuild, not just survive, but thrive. Let's get started. Embrace your struggles as fuel for growth. I need you to understand this truth. Your struggles are the fuel for your growth. The challenges you face, the hardships you endure, the setbacks that seem insurmountable, they are the very things that will shape you, mold you, and propel you to greatness. I'm telling you, you are stronger than you know. But you'll never realize your true power if you don't start seeing your struggles for what they really are. Opportunities in disguise. Now, it's easy to look at your difficulties and feel defeated, discouraged, or even angry. I get it. We've all been there. Life will throw obstacles at you that make you question everything. It's easy to throw your hands up, to feel like quitting is the best option. But you've got to rise above that, and you've got to learn how to use your struggles as fuel. Think about a fire for a second. A fire burns bright and powerful, right? But what feeds that fire? It's not the easy, soft stuff. It's the hard, tough wood that takes time to break down and burn. The harder it is, the longer it lasts. Your struggles are the same way. They might feel heavy right now, but they are breaking down the tough parts of you, shaping you into someone who can withstand more, achieve more, and become the person you were destined to be. Every trial you face is just another log added to your fire, and the more you embrace it, the brighter your light will shine. When life knocks you down, it's easy to feel like everything is falling apart, but in reality, it's only falling into place. You see, growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It doesn't happen when things are easy. Growth happens when you're stretched. It happens when you're pushed beyond your limits. Growth happens when you're forced to face your fears, your doubts, your weaknesses. The struggle is what makes you better. The pain is what builds your resilience. And the obstacles are what sharpen your focus. There's a saying that goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Now, that might sound cliche, but there's truth in it. Every hardship you face teaches you something about yourself. It teaches you your limits, it teaches you your weaknesses, and most importantly, it teaches you your strength. When you push through your struggles, you build character. You build the kind of character that can handle anything life throws at you. One of the most important lessons I've learned in life is this. You cannot control the things that happen to you, but you can control how you respond to them. That's the key. When things go wrong, and they will go wrong at some point, you can choose to let them hold you back, or you can choose to use them as fuel for your growth. The most successful people you look up to, the ones who inspire you, they didn't get there because they never faced challenges. They got there because they kept pushing through those challenges. They got there because they saw the struggle as a necessary part of the journey, not something to fear or avoid. And now it's your turn. It's your time to embrace the struggle, to see it as the fuel that will push you to your greatness. Your past doesn't define your future. Too many people walk through life carrying the weight of their pasts on their shoulders. They let the things they've done, the things that have happened to them, the things they wish they could go back and change, hold them back from stepping into the future that's waiting for them. And I want you to hear me when I say this. What's behind you is behind you. It's done. You can't change it. What you can do, though, is learn from it. Today was a bad day for me. Use it, grow from it. You see, you are not your mistakes. You are not the sum of the things you've gone through. Those things might have shaped you, yes, but they don't have to define you. The real power is in what you choose to do with what's happened to you. It's in the way you choose to respond. It's in the decision you make to not let your past dictate your next step. Think about the people who've risen to greatness in this world. I'm talking about the trailblazers, the ones who've broken barriers, the ones who fought through adversity. Do you think they didn't have struggles? Do you think they didn't have setbacks, failures, regrets? Of course they did. But they chose to rise above it. They chose to learn from their mistakes, to get back up when they were knocked down, to keep moving forward no matter how tough it got. They didn't let their past determine their future, they created their own future. And I need you to do the same. You've got the same power, the same ability to overcome. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have the final say. Your future is yours to create. So how do you move forward from the past? How do you leave behind the things that have been holding you back? First, you've got to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, for the opportunities you missed, for the regrets that weigh heavy on your heart. You cannot change the past, but you can choose to let go of the burden it carries. You've got to give yourself the grace to move forward. The truth is, we're all human. We all make mistakes. But the key is not letting those mistakes define who we are going forward. Second, you've got to shift your mindset. Start seeing challenges as lessons, not failures. Every mistake you've made, every setback you've encountered, it all teaches you something. Use those lessons to fuel your growth, not to hold you back. The more you learn from the past, the more equipped you become to handle the future. But the key is to stop dwelling on what's already happened. Don't let your past mistakes make you scared to take chances or step out in faith. The future is waiting for you, but you've got to let go of the fear that comes from your past. Third, surround yourself with the right people. You can't move forward if you're constantly reminded of who you used to be or what you used to do. Find people who believe in your potential, who see the best in you, and who push you toward greatness. Cut ties with anyone who tries to keep you stuck in the past. I don't care who they are. If they're not supporting your growth, if they're not encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, it's time to move on. Your future is too important to waste it on people who don't understand your worth. And finally, take action. The only way to create your future is by showing up today. You can't just think about the life you want to create. You've got to take the steps to build it. Start small if you have to, but start. Each step forward is a step away from the past. Every day you choose to move forward, every day you choose to be better than yesterday, you are creating a new future for yourself. The power is in your hands to make today the beginning of a whole new chapter. Success is not about never falling, it's about rising. Every time. The truth is, you will fall. You will fail. You will face challenges and obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. But let me tell you this. Your true success is not defined by how many times you fall. It's defined by how many times you rise. There's a saying that goes, it's not about how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up, and that's the truth. The key to success is in your ability to rise after every fall. It's in your resilience, your strength, and your determination to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the world is pushing you back. You see, every failure, every obstacle, and every struggle you face is not there to defeat you. It's there to teach you, to refine you, to strengthen your resolve, and to push you closer to the person you're meant to become. I've had my own share of setbacks, my own struggles, and times when I've thought, man, maybe this isn't for me. But one thing I've learned is this. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Because every time you rise, you become stronger, you become wiser, you become more determined to keep pushing until you reach the life you've been working for. So when you fall, don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Embrace it, learn from it, and most importantly, rise again. Every time you rise, You're one step closer to your goals. Every time you rise, you're becoming the person you were meant to be. So if you're struggling right now, if you're feeling like you've hit rock bottom, remember this: you are not defeated. You are not done. You are just in the process of rising. Your next rise is coming, and when it does, you'll be stronger than ever before. Don't stop. Don't quit. Rise and rise again. You have control over your rebuild. You are the architect of your own journey. When things fall apart, when your world feels shattered, it's easy to think that the story's over. But I'm here to remind you that you have the power to rebuild, to rise, and to transform your life. No one else is in the driver's seat of your future but you. The first step in taking control is to let go of the victim mentality. Stop telling yourself that your circumstances are too big for you to overcome. Stop thinking that you don't have the ability to change things. I get it. Sometimes it feels like the world is against you, like everything is stacked up against you. But that's when you've got to dig deep and remind yourself that you have the power to control your response to anything life throws at you. You decide how you're going to react, and you decide how you're going to move forward. Rebuilding requires vision and purpose. You have to have a clear idea of where you want to go, what you want to achieve, and who you want to become. But here's the thing: don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait for the right moment, the right circumstances, or the right conditions. You're never going to get the perfect set of circumstances. What you need to do is start now with what you have. Break it down into small, actionable steps. You don't need to have everything figured out right away. All you need to do is take one step at a time. Don't let fear stop you. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, that's all part of the process. Fear is natural, but what you do with that fear, how you use it, is what will determine your success. Don't let fear paralyze you. Let it fuel you. Every time you push through the fear, you build strength and you get one step closer to your ultimate vision. You are stronger than you think. You might not feel strong right now. You might feel like life has knocked the wind out of you and you're just trying to catch your breath. Maybe you've been told you're not enough or that you'll never make it. Strength isn't just about physical power, muscle, or endurance. It's about mental resilience. It's about the ability to get back up after life knocks you down, to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about knowing that setbacks are not the end, they're just a part of the journey. You have overcome everything you've been through so far. Think about it. You've had moments when you thought you couldn't go on, when you thought you didn't have what it took, and yet here you are. You made it through every single challenge you faced up until now. And you didn't just survive, you've learned, you've grown, and you've gotten stronger. Here's the truth. You're stronger than the pain you've been through. The struggles, the heartbreaks, the failures, they don't define you. What defines you is your ability to rise. What defines you is the courage to face the next challenge, knowing that you have the strength to overcome it. So stop doubting yourself. Stop questioning your ability. You have more strength inside of you than you know. You've been through storms, but you're still standing, and that's not an accident. You've been through the fire, and now you're forged, ready to face whatever's next. So right now, I want you to look in the mirror and say it out loud. I am stronger than I think. Say it until you believe it. Because when you truly believe it, you'll realize that no matter what comes your way, you've got what it takes. The strength you need to overcome, to succeed, to thrive, it's already in you. The power of perseverance. Perseverance is the key to everything. In life, you're going to face challenges, setbacks, and moments where it feels like the world is working against you. You might fall, you might get knocked down, and you might feel like you just can't take another step. But let me tell you, the power of perseverance is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Perseverance is that thing inside of you that refuses to give up when it seems like everything is falling apart. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when the road is long, when the obstacles are high, and when the odds are stacked against you. Perseverance is not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and going forward when it seems like you have nothing left to give. There will be moments when you'll want to quit. You'll want to throw in the towel. You'll ask yourself, why am I even doing this? What's the point? You'll question everything. But I'm telling you right now, don't quit. Don't stop. Don't let those moments define you. You need to understand that success is not about never facing adversity. It's about how you respond when the adversity shows up. It's about how you handle the challenges that come your way. You see, perseverance is about the long game. It's about pushing forward day in and day out, even when things don't look the way you want them to. It's about putting in the work, even when the results aren't immediate. It's about trusting the process and knowing that if you just keep going, keep doing the work, keep putting in the effort, things will change. I know it's not easy. Life is not easy. It's not supposed to be. But that's where the power of perseverance comes in. So today, I want you to make a decision. I want you to commit to persevering. Commit to moving forward even when it seems impossible. Commit to standing tall when you feel small. Build a legacy, not just a life. When I talk about building a legacy, I'm not talking about leaving a pile of money or the biggest house in the neighborhood. No, I'm talking about the impact you have on the world, the mark you leave on others, the lessons you teach, the love you give, the strength you inspire in those around you. A legacy is something that transcends your life. It's the story people will tell about you after you're gone. So what kind of story do you want them to tell? So how do you do it? How do you build a legacy? It starts with your purpose. You've got to figure out what you're here for. What is the mark you want to make on this world? What do you want your life to stand for? When you answer those questions, you start living with intent. It's about living for something bigger than yourself. Too often, people get caught up in personal success, making money, getting fame, climbing the ladder. But what happens when you get to the top? What happens when you've got everything you thought you wanted? You realize that it's not about the stuff. It's about the impact. It's about how you've helped others rise up, how you've lifted them up in the darkest of times. That's the legacy that matters. Think about the people who have inspired you. Think about the people whose lives left a lasting impression on you. Were they just successful in their career, or did they do something more? Did they change your perspective? Did they push you to be better? Did they show you that no matter the odds, you can overcome? That's the kind of legacy you want to leave. But building a legacy isn't easy. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes sacrifice. You have to be willing to do the work when no one is watching. You have to be willing to stand tall when the world tells you to sit down. Remember, a life is temporary, but a legacy lasts forever. Build that legacy, and when it's all said and done, know that you made a difference. Know that you gave everything you had to leave this world better than you found it. Your story is just beginning. It's time to rise and rebuild yourself. Not just for you, but for the future. Build a legacy, not just a life. Believe in your worth, even when others don't. You are worth it. I don't care if the world doesn't see it right now. I don't care if people around you don't recognize the fire inside you. You have to believe in your worth, especially when no one else does. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They let other people's opinions define their self-worth. They let the world's judgment dictate what they think they are capable of. But that's not how it works. I've been there. I've been at a point where I doubted myself, where I questioned my own value. I had moments where I looked around and thought, am I good enough? Am I enough for this? And let me tell you, those moments can be tough. But you cannot let the voices around you drown out the one voice that matters. The voice that says you are enough. The world will try to tell you who you are, what you're worth, how far you can go. But those voices, they don't know you. They don't know your struggles, your sacrifices, your dreams. The only voice that truly matters is the one that comes from within. You've got to trust yourself, believe in your own potential, and understand this: your worth is not determined by others. is determined by you. You don't need validation from others to know you're capable. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you deserve success. You already have everything you need within you, but you've got to believe it first. When you believe in your worth, it's like flipping a switch. You stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking approval. So when others doubt you, keep pushing. When they don't see your value, keep shining. Don't wait for the world to recognize your worth. Recognize it yourself, and the world will follow. You control your response to life. You may not have control over everything that happens to you, but you absolutely have control over how you respond to it. It's easy to play the victim when life doesn't go your way. It's easy to blame circumstances, blame people, or even blame yourself. But I want you to remember this. Your circumstances do not define you, your response does. Life will test you. It will challenge your strength, your faith, and your resilience. But the way you react is in your hands, and that is the most powerful thing you have. Think about the times when things weren't going the way you wanted. Maybe you were dealt a bad hand in life. Maybe you lost something or someone important. Maybe it feels like everything you do is just one step forward, two steps back. It's easy to get frustrated, to feel hopeless. But what separates the people who rise from those who stay down is this: the decision to keep going, the decision to take control of how you respond to the situation. Let me ask you a question. When life knocks you down, what do? Do you stay down feeling sorry for yourself, or do you get up, brush yourself off, and keep moving forward? The choice is always yours. The people who succeed, the people who win, are not necessarily the ones who have the best circumstances. They are the ones who decide to respond with faith, with strength, with resilience, no matter what life throws at them. Your response determines your destiny. Here's the bottom line. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's where your power lies. Your response will shape your future. So make it count. Keep moving forward no matter what. There's a reason why we call it a journey, because it's never a straight line. It's filled with twists and turns, bumps and bruises, moments when you feel like quitting, and moments when you feel like it's just too much. But let me remind you, it's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. One of the hardest things to do when life gets tough is to keep moving forward, especially when everything seems uncertain. You might feel like you're walking through a storm with no end in sight, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But let me tell you this, the only way to find that light is to keep walking. You might be in the middle of something right now. Maybe you're facing a loss. Maybe you're struggling with your career. Maybe you feel stuck in a place you can't seem to get out of. But I'm telling you, this moment is not the end of your story. This is just a chapter, a temporary setback on the road to something greater. If you keep moving forward, you will come out stronger on the other side. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know exactly how things will turn out. But I'll tell you this, you'll never know what's ahead if you stop now. Remember, you can't lose if you don't quit. Life will test you, but you get to decide if you keep going. And when you keep going, that's when you win. So no matter what comes your way, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much you feel like you can't take another step, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward no matter what. All right, you've heard it. Life will try to stop you, challenge you, and knock you down, but the key is to keep moving forward no matter what. The road might get tough, but as long as you keep pushing, you'll get closer to your dreams. Remember, your ability to persevere is what will define you in the end. So, when life gets hard, just keep moving. Don't let anything or anyone slow you down. Your future is built on the steps you take today, no matter how small they seem. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one challenge you're facing right now, and how are you planning to keep moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you want more motivation to fuel your journey, check out the next video in this playlist. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Keep moving, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep rising.